Now, what's great about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is that there are going to be a lot of twists and turns, as well as saga-wide implications and revelations in this film that's going to change our entire view of Star Wars The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and even the entire Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So one aspect of this film that a lot of people are really looking forward to are, of course, all the different cameos that are going to be making their way into this movie, and exactly all of the different Easter eggs and the references and the connections to the past two trilogies that come before this one, in order to really fulfill the Skywalker saga in a very unique and specific way by J.J. Abrams. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the character of ObiWan Kenobi. Now, specifically, a description of Rey on board of the Millennium Falcon, where it said that she is going through the personal items of Luke Skywalker that she took from the world of Ahch-To, one of which is described to be the journal of ObiWan Kenobi that contains many stories he wrote on a day-to-day basis. The next goes over the journal of Kenobi, revealing that his discovery of the Beyond originated from communicating with the Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn during his time on Tatooine while he was in solitude and watching over a young Luke Skywalker. The journal that Rey goes over reveals that Kenobi learned about the power and location of the Beyond through that and the guidance of Qui-Gon, and that after Kenobi's death, he eventually passed this knowledge down to Luke Skywalker during his time on Ahch-To. Another describes a page that was written by Luke Skywalker that Kenobi had found a way to new abilities and powers in the netherworld of the Force that had a connection to the Beyond, and that all of this will play a role into the evolution of Force ghosts in the sequel trilogy, specifically in Episode 9. So I want to go over a couple of parts about all this. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be introducing a lot of new ideas and concepts that we have never seen before on the big screen, as well as a lot of these Easter eggs and/or references, or little connections here and there, that are really going to be used in a sense in order for us to look back at the originals and the prequels and everything that comes in between those in a different way and change our perspective on everything else entirely. So what I like about all of this is that this basically tells us a little bit more about the life of ObiWan Kenobi. Now, first things first is that you guys may or may not have actually heard about this, or, you know, in case you guys haven't been following for a while, we do know that ObiWan Kenobi has known about the Beyond for quite some time after his death, and even before his death. And for the longest time, it really was a mystery as to exactly how he knew about all this. Now, in this diary, in this journal, if you will, it's actually revealed to Rey, as she reads it, that Kenobi learned about the Beyond, all thanks to the Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn, giving Kenobi guidance during his time on Tatooine. Now, not only does this tie directly into the very ending of Revenge of the Sith, where Yoda says, during your time and during your solitude on Tatooine, training I have for you to commune with your old master, Qui-Gon. And if you guys actually go ahead and look at the ObiWan Kenobi TV series that is said to be in the works, you can really see how this would most likely be explained, visually speaking, that'll actually connect to Episode 9. So with that being all said, the other piece that I also want to go over is Luke Skywalker actually filled in a piece of the Journal of Kenobi, where he actually wrote about this, and that's actually revealed to Rey, eventually, while she's reading this thing, is that Luke Skywalker reveals something about Kenobi, that in the netherworld of the Force, there's a connection to the Beyond, and that Kenobi discovered this big connection that led to new abilities and/or powers for Force ghosts, and that this all plays a role into the evolution of what a Force ghost is able to do in the Star Wars universe, and that this will actually apply to the sequel trilogy, and could very well and absolutely explain as to why Yoda was able to do what he did in The Last Jedi, with the lightning striking the tree, as well as what they have planned for, of course, the characters of Luke and others out there in Episode 9. So with that being said, guys, like I say, we can really see that, you know, J.J. Abrams is trying his very best in order to really insert a lot of these little tiny connections that are actually pretty significant in a very big way, because it changes our view on some of the characters and what they were doing, you know, during the events of, let's say, for example, the originals, or even before the originals, but after the prequels. And what I like about all of this is that it basically makes the Skywalker saga feel more fulfilled. It makes Episode 9 basically the last piece to the puzzle. And I think that's exactly how Disney and Lucasfilm are treating this movie, as the last piece to the puzzle, if you will. Now, like I have always expressed before, this movie should definitely deserve at least 3 hours running time. And the reason as to why I bring this up is because, well, it worked very well with Avengers Endgame, because in a sense and in a way, that was almost, kind of the same exact thing that was happening with the end of the Skywalker saga. Now they're entering Phase 4, and they're doing all these crazy things. So, with the Skywalker saga coming to an end, you can really see how JJ is really trying to go all out with this movie, and go out with a bang, by really, providing all these different twists and turns and these revelations to the film. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.